The Texas Rangers have long been celebrated as one of the most enduring symbols of law and order in the American West. Known for their bravery, resourcefulness, and relentless pursuit of justice, these men were often the only line of defense against outlaws and lawlessness. In this video, we'll explore the stories of Texas Rangers who exemplified the Ranger spirit by never standing down in the face of danger. From legendary shootouts to daring manhunts, these Rangers left a lasting mark on history with their courage and determination.
Frank Hamer. Among the fellow Rangers whom Will Wright interacted closely with was another native of Wilson County, Francis Augustus Hamer. Despite facing criticism from some quarters, Hamer was widely regarded as the quintessential Texas Ranger. He joined the Rangers in 1906 and, despite experiencing occasional interruptions, remained in service until 1932. While he is most renowned for his pivotal role in the 1934 apprehension of the notorious outlaws Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, Hamer's entire career was marked by a steadfast refusal to back down from challenges. He passed away at the age of 71 in 1955, shortly after confiding in his son that he had been involved in the justifiable killings of 52 men throughout his career. As we wrap up our exploration of 10 Texas Rangers who never backed down, it's clear that their legacy of bravery, determination, and unwavering commitment to justice continues to inspire us today. From legendary figures like John Salman Ford and John Coffee Hayes, to lesser-known heroes like William L Wright and Francis Augustus Hamer, these Rangers exemplified the courage and resilience that define the Texas Ranger tradition. Captain W. L. Wright. Entering the ranks of the Rangers at the turn of the 20th century, William L. Wright swiftly demonstrated his unwavering resolve. This was evident on October 25, 1900, when he faced a notorious gunman who took aim at him. Despite the assailant's shot missing its mark, Wright's response was decisive, ensuring his safety. Departing from the Rangers in 1902, he assumed the role of sheriff in his hometown of Wilson County, where he served diligently for 15 years. In 1917, Wright's dedication to law enforcement was recognized with a gubernatorial appointment as Ranger Captain. Despite facing 2 temporary interruptions due to political reasons, Wright's tenure as a Ranger persisted until 1939, showcasing his enduring commitment to maintaining peace and order. He passed away at the age of 74 in 1942, leaving behind a legacy of courage and service. William J. McDonald. With a diverse background encompassing business, ranching, and county law enforcement, William J. McDonald received his commission as a Ranger Captain in 1890. Although often attributed to him, it remains uncertain whether McDonald was the originator of the line that later evolved into the slogan, "One Ranger, One Riot." Despite his reputation for being both self-assured and stubborn, McDonald possessed a resolute determination to carry out his duties. Employing rudimentary forensic methods, he pioneered the use of scientific evidence analysis in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, contributing significantly to law enforcement practices of the time. While McDonald welcomed publicity, he also understood the importance of discretion. Referred to by newspapermen as the squirrel hunter, McDonald's ability to maintain secrecy was noted by the Austin Statesman on June 1, 1903. Regardless of statewide events, reporters could only ascertain from McDonald that he was going squirrel hunting, demonstrating his knack for evading unwanted attention. One of McDonald's most notable exploits occurred in 1906. when a black soldier stationed at Fort Brown in Brownsville was accused of assaulting a white woman. Undeterred, McDonald, accompanied by 2 of his men, journeyed to the valley with the intention of apprehending the trooper. Additionally, McDonald obtained arrest warrants for 11 other soldiers suspected of involvement in a subsequent riot. However, tensions escalated when the military refused to release the suspects, leading to a verbal standoff between the Rangers and the Army. The captain's efforts were ultimately unsuccessful, with many acknowledging that he had exceeded his authority. Nevertheless, the incident, known as the Brownsville Affair, prompted one Army officer to remark that McDonald would confront even the most formidable challenges with unwavering determination. Despite McDonald's reputation for bravery, he never took a life. Although he once found himself in a precarious shooting situation in the valley, it is uncertain whether his rifle malfunctioned or he was unable to discharge a shot. However, his fellow Rangers managed to eliminate several assailants who had been firing upon them. In 1907, McDonald departed from the Rangers to pursue another state position and passed away in 1918. While state legislators disbanded the Frontier Battalion in 1901, the Ranger service persisted under new legislation. As the 20th century commenced, the bygone era of the Wild West had largely faded into memory. However, in less settled regions of Texas, the transition from lawless to societal stability lagged behind by approximately 2 decades. Factors such as the Mexican Revolution, which erupted in 1910 and spanned a decade, occasionally spilled over into Texas, along with the challenges posed by prohibition and bootlegging. Additionally, Rangers grappled with the lawless of wide-open oil boom towns. Nevertheless, the Rangers maintained their reputation and legacy, with 166 Rangers continuing to serve Texas to this day. John Hughes. John R. Hughes demonstrated courage from a young age. Hailing from Illinois and raised in Kansas at the tender age of 15, Hughes joined a cattle outfit in Indian Territory. When a rustler attempted to steal from Hughes's herd, the teenager stood his ground, resulting in the thief's demise and a bullet wound in Hughes' right arm. Despite losing full function of the limb, Hughes soon became adept at drawing with his left hand. He remained in the cattle business until 1878, when he and his brother invested their trail-driving earnings into a ranch in central Texas. At the age of 30, Hughes preferred the tranquility of poetry and reading the Bible over the temptations prevalent on the frontier. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Hughes viewed his pistol as a practical tool rather than a decorative accessory, keeping it holstered on the ranch house wall. Specializing in horses, he built his remuda from herds of wild mustangs. However, in 1886, Hughes' peace was disrupted when outlaws stole 16 of his prized horses, including his beloved stallion, along with another 54 horses from neighboring ranches. Determined to recover his property, Hughes tracked the thieves to New Mexico, where he successfully retrieved his horses and those of his neighbors. In the process, he dispatched 3 of the thieves and ensured the apprehension of the remaining culprits. Unbeknownst to Hughes, a friend of the thieves sought vengeance and journeyed to Texas to confront him. Fortunately, Hughes was absent when the assailant arrived at his ranch. Meanwhile, Texas Ranger Ira A-10, pursuing a murder warrant related to a robbery-homicide in Fredericksburg, intercepted the would-be assassin before he could harm Hughes. They engaged in gunfire, Hughes recounted. The ranger disarmed him with a shot, but the man eluded capture. The ranger sought my assistance in apprehending the fugitive. 3 weeks later, Hughes and A-10 located the outlaw. Regrettably, as Hughes later lamented, the outlaw refused to surrender and was fatally shot. Subsequently, Hughes faced harassment from the outlaw's associates, prompting him to arm himself. At the ranger's urging, Hughes enlisted in the company. In August 1887, Hughes commenced his ranger career in Georgetown, Texas, initially expecting a brief tenure. However, his service extended beyond expectations. By spring 1890, he had risen to the rank of sergeant. 3 years later, following the death of Captain Frank Jones in a skirmish with Mexican bandits near El Paso, Hughes was promoted to captain. Upon his retirement in 1915, Hughes modestly reflected on his ranger career, acknowledging his involvement in numerous encounters resulting in the demise of dangerous criminals. He boasted of never losing a personal battle and ensuring no prisoner escaped under his watch. Hughes lived to the age of 92, passing away on June 3, 1947 in Austin. His body, accompanied by his .45, was discovered in a garage behind a relative's residence. Facing declining health, he chose not to burden his family further. Jesse Lee Hall. Upon the passing of McNelly, the red-headed Lot, Jesse Lee Hall, already renowned as a lawman, ascended to the role of captain. Described as energetic and unwavering in his pursuit of criminals by the Daily Fort Worth Standard on August 23, 1877, Capt. Hall was determined to capture criminals in Texas or bring them to a safe country. Despite the absence of uniforms among Rangers, Hall instituted certain guidelines. In the summer of 1879, the San Antonio Herald reported Hall's prohibition of sombreros, elaborate boots, and white-handled revolvers within his command. His rationale was to eschew the appearance associated with desperados, preferring his men to project a civilized demeanor. Presumably armed with wooden-handled six-shooters, Hall and his comrades showcased their courage in Atascosa County. In a bid to thwart an impending robbery, the captain and his men laid siege to a rural store approximately 20 miles north of Pleasanton. Upon the arrival of 5 mounted individuals, 2 seized the store clerk, while 3 commenced looting. Emerging from concealment, Hall ordered their surrender, only to be met with gunfire, as reported by the Marshall, Texas Tri-Weekly Herald on November 11, 1879. The Rangers retaliated, resulting in the death of 1 assailant and the injury of 2 others, while the remaining 2 evaded capture. Following a series of triumphant operations, including Lt. John B. Armstrong's remarkable apprehension of John Wesley Hardin in Florida, Hall resigned in 1880 to pursue business ventures. He passed away in 1911. John B. Jones. If John C. Jack Hayes and his valiant comrades laid the foundation for the Ranger legend, then it was John B. Jones who solidified the Rangers' standing as a proficient law enforcement force. The year 1874 witnessed a pivotal moment in Ranger history with the establishment of the Frontier Battalion, a specialized unit tasked with safeguarding the frontier and entrusted with unprecedented law enforcement authority. Under the leadership of State Adjutant General William Steele, and with Jones assuming the mantle of Major in command, the Frontier Battalion marked a significant evolution in the Rangers' role within the state's law enforcement apparatus. Jones, a veteran of the Civil War, shared a bond of camaraderie with Steele, forged amidst the crucible of conflict. Described by the Houston Telegram in December 1877 as the equal of esteemed figures such as Walker, Hayes, and Ben McCulloch, Jones exemplified the epitome of a gentleman lawman. Despite his modest stature, Jones commanded respect with his unwavering commitment to duty and his impeccable attire, which concealed the tenacity and resolve that defined his leadership style. However, the Frontier Battalion faced persistent challenges, grappling with chronic understaffing and inadequate funding that hindered their operational effectiveness. Despite these obstacles, the Rangers persevered, maintaining their vigilance in the face of adversity and further burnishing their reputation through acts of valor and heroism. Notable among their feats was their survival of a treacherous encounter with hostile Indians in North Texas in 1875, as well as their pivotal role in the shootout with Sam Bass's notorious train-robbing gang in Round Rock, Texas in 1878. Tragically, Jones's tenure as a Ranger leader was cut short by his untimely demise at the age of 47 in 1881, succumbing to complications following surgery. His passing marked the end of an era, yet his legacy endured as a testament to the enduring spirit and unyielding determination of the Texas Rangers in their pursuit of justice and order on the volatile frontier. Leander H McNelly. Although never officially bearing the title of Ranger, Leander McNelly, a seasoned veteran of the Civil War, emerged as a formidable figure who built upon the legacies of Hayes and Ford. In 1870, McNelly ascended to the rank of captain within the newly established state police, a uniformed force that faced public disdain until its dissolution in 1873. Undeterred by the state police's demise, McNelly found himself thrust into a new role the following year, amidst the tumultuous backdrop of South Texas, where lawless and interfactional strife ran rampant. Appointed as captain of the Washington County Volunteers in response to the escalating chaos, McNelly's unit soon garnered a fearsome reputation as the Special Force, embodying the ethos and functions of the Rangers, despite lacking the official designation. McNelly's leadership was marked by uncompromising resolve as he pursued outlaws and Mexican bandits with relentless determination, often resorting to extra-legal measures such as unauthorized incursions across the Rio Grande to recover stolen livestock. However, McNelly's relentless pursuit of justice was hindered by his deteriorating health as he battled the ravages of tuberculosis, commonly known as galloping consumption. Increasingly sidelined by his illness, McNelly found himself relegated to the confines of San Antonio, far removed from the frontline skirmishes that defined his tenure as a lawman. The bureaucratic machinery of the Adjutant General's office, meanwhile, grew increasingly critical of McNelly's administrative deficiencies and the mounting costs of his medical care, which were borne by the state. In a candid interview with the San Antonio Herald in November 1876, McNelly bemoaned the inadequacies of the resources at his disposal, lamenting the insufficiency of his 50-man command in tackling the pervasive, lawless of South Texas. Despite his impassioned pleas for reinforcements, McNelly's appeals fell on deaf ears, and he found himself facing the prospect of dwindling support and dwindling time to enact his vision for law and order in the region. In a somber denouement to his tumultuous career, McNelly was mustered out of service along with his command in early February 1877. However, his departure from the stage of Texas law enforcement was followed swiftly by the establishment of a new 24-man company, an indication of the enduring need for vigilant guardians of the peace in the Lone Star State. Tragically, McNelly's life was cut short on September 3rd of that same year, his passing at the tender age of 33, serving as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of justice in the Wild West. Samuel Hamilton Walker. Samuel H. Walker, a native of Maryland, initially served with distinction in the U.S. Army during the tumultuous Seminole War in Florida. However, his journey took a dramatic turn when he ventured to Texas in January 1842. Joining a volunteer company that September, Walker found himself thrust into the midst of conflict as Texas faced an incursion by Mexican military forces seeking to reclaim the territory. In a fateful December of that same year, Walker's fate took a dire twist when he, along with other Texans, was captured during a skirmish in the Mexican town of Mir. Subsequently imprisoned within the infamous confines of Perot Castle, Walker endured the harsh realities of captivity until his daring escape in 1843. Emerging from the shadows of confinement, Walker wasted no time in aligning himself with the renowned Ranger Company, led by John C. Jack Hayes in early 1844. The summer of 1844 witnessed Walker's participation in the pivotal Battle of Walker's Creek, a clash that would etch his name into the annals of Ranger lore. Despite the formidable advantage conferred by the Rangers' innovative revolvers, the Comanche adversaries proved resilient, demonstrating their prowess with arrow and lance. In the heat of the fray, Walker himself fell victim to a well-aimed lance, left incapacitated and vulnerable on the battlefield until his comrades rallied to his rescue. Though the ordeal left him wounded and shaken, Walker's resolve remained unshaken as he continued to serve alongside Hayes until the company faced financial constraints. Undeterred, Walker's commitment to the cause led him to join another Ranger company in 1845 under the leadership of Ad Gillespie. As tensions escalated with Mexico, Walker's expertise and combat experience positioned him as a key figure in the looming conflict. As the specter of war with Mexico loomed ominously on the horizon in May 1846, the battle-hardened Samuel H. Walker wasted no time in mustering a Ranger company, assuming the role of a scout in service of General Zachary Taylor. With Taylor's subsequent invasion of Mexican territory, Walker seamlessly integrated himself into a Ranger regiment under the command of John C. Jack Hayes, further solidifying his reputation as a stalwart defender of Texas interests. However, Walker's ambitions transcended the ranks of the Rangers, as evidenced by his acceptance of a captaincy in the regular army in October 1846. Embarking on a journey to the northeastern United States, Walker sought to procure arms and recruit men for his nascent unit, the 1st Regiment, Texas Mounted Rifles. It was during this time that fate intervened, leading to a fateful encounter between Walker and the renowned inventor Samuel Colt. Upon learning of Walker's presence in New York, Colt extended a cordial invitation for Walker to visit his workshop in Paterson, New Jersey. Eager to glean insights from the frontline experiences of a Ranger captain, Colt expressed a fervent desire to refine his revolutionary firearm, design based on Walker's feedback. This collaboration culminated in the creation of the Walker Colt revolver, a robust and innovative weapon boasting 6 shots and a larger caliber, a testament to Walker's invaluable contributions to its development. The partnership between Walker and Colt bore fruit swiftly, as evidenced by the U.S. Army's decision to contract Colt for 1,000 of the newly minted revolvers. Despite lacking his own manufacturing facilities, Colt enlisted the expertise of Eli Whitney to fulfill the burgeoning demand. In a gesture of gratitude for his pivotal role in the revolver's evolution, Colt bestowed upon Walker 2 of the new 6 guns in early October. Yet Walker's tenure with his prized firearms proved tragically short-lived. In the crucible of battle on October 9, 1847, Walker fell victim to a single shot from a Mexican rifleman, succumbing to his wounds. In the aftermath of his passing, Walker's eulogist, James C. Wilson, drew poignant comparisons between Walker and his esteemed colleague Ad Gillespie, highlighting Walker's fearless demeanor and seemingly inexhaustible appetite for danger. A fitting epitaph for a man whose exploits embodied the spirit of the Texas Rangers. John Salman Ford. During the 1840s, the dynamic duo of Hayes and Walker captured the imagination of the world through extensive newspaper coverage, shaping the prevailing perception of the Texas Rangers. In the ensuing decade, the multifaceted figure of John S. "Rip" Ford, hailing from South Carolina and raised in Tennessee, further solidified the Ranger mystique. Ford's arrival in Texas in 1836 coincided with the aftermath of the state's hard-fought independence from Mexico. Initially engaging in volunteer ranger-like units, Ford later diversified his pursuits, leveraging his expertise as a doctor, lawman, surveyor, newspaper publisher, and legislator. Amidst the tumult of the Mexican-American War, Ford served under the command of Hayes, assuming the role of regimental adjutant. Tasked with the solemn duty of documenting Ranger casualties, Ford penned the poignant epitaph, "Rest in peace," on each fatality report, eventually earning himself the enduring moniker R.I.P. Following the war, Ford's association with the Rangers deepened as he assumed the mantle of Ranger Captain from 1849 to 1851, engaging in numerous skirmishes with indigenous peoples. In 1858, as legislative authorization expanded the Ranger force to 150 men, Ford was appointed as the senior Ranger Captain, leading his men on daring expeditions into the untamed frontier. During one pivotal campaign, Ford and his Rangers crossed the Red River in pursuit of Comanche raiders, culminating in the decisive Battle of Antelope Hills less than 2 weeks later. Ford's strategic acumen and battlefield valor solidified his reputation as a legendary Ranger commander. Beyond his military exploits, Ford's legacy endured through his efforts to organize an association of former Rangers, a tradition that persists to this day under the banner of the former Texas Ranger Association. Moreover, his posthumously published memoir serves as a vital historical document, preserving the rich tapestry of early Ranger history for future generations. Ford died in 1897, but his contributions to the legacy of the Texas Rangers are still remembered today. John Coffee Hayes. As a surveyor, John C. Jack Hayes encountered numerous perilous situations amidst clashes with hostile Native American tribes. Gradually integrating his surveying duties with voluntary service as a ranger, it wasn't until January 1841 that the fledgling Republic of Texas formally bestowed upon him the rank of Ranger Captain. One pivotal encounter etched in Western legend occurred on June 8, 1844, near Walker's Creek in central Texas. Facing a formidable force of 60 to 80 Comanche warriors and their allies, Hayes and his outnumbered Ranger cohort found themselves in a dire confrontation. Despite the odds stacked against them, Hayes displayed remarkable tactical acumen and unyielding courage. In his own recollection, Hayes recounted the decisive moment when the Comanches, unable to outmaneuver or mislead their adversaries, brazenly advanced, goading the Rangers into combat. Ordering a bold charge, Hayes and his men engaged the enemy in fierce hand-to-hand combat, wielding their 5 shooting pistols to devastating effect. The ferocity and precision of their onslaught proved decisive, resulting in the deaths of 23 warriors and the severe injury of another 30, albeit at the cost of 1 Ranger killed and 3 wounded. This moment marked a turning point in the history of the American West. For the first time, Rangers had engaged Native American adversaries with a highly effective close-range weapon, eliminating the need for time-consuming reloads after each shot. Hayes, though not single-handedly, emerged as a preeminent figure, a beacon of leadership, strategic prowess, and indomitable valor. Beyond his exploits on the frontier, Hayes further cemented his legacy during the Mexican-American War, showcasing his military prowess and unwavering commitment to duty. However, his ambitions extended beyond the borders of Texas, and in the midst of the 1849 California gold rush, Hayes ventured westward, eventually assuming the mantle of sheriff in the bustling metropolis of San Francisco. Transitioning from the tumult of frontier life to the rigors of urban law enforcement, Hayes demonstrated his adaptability and resilience. Subsequently, he leveraged his experiences to forge a successful career as a businessman, leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of the American West. His passing in 1883 marked the end of an era, yet his legacy endures, immortalized in the annals of Western history as he rests in his adopted state.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.